Ugh, my dog's crazy. Anyway, we're back, baby. Well, that's inaccurate. I'm back. Afton's at her mother's. Um, this year she does not want to watch kids' Halloween movies early. She wants to watch scary horror Halloween stuff that's gonna make her scared. And I'm trying to think of things that are like running the line in between. I've watched a couple movies with her. Um, she hasn't been scared yet, but I don't really know how far to go. If Please leave me a comment and tell me movies that you would recommend to scare an 11-year-old kid. Make it 13. She's a tough one. Now, um, the movie that I'm reviewing tonight, quite horrific. We're going with another classic, Nightmare on Elm Street. That's right, baby. You know, um, this is a very original story. And that's one of the things that I immediately noticed about it. It's unlike any of the other horror movies in any way. I think this time period probably had quite a bit in that way going for it. Now, this movie has a lot of wins. Robert Englund, big win. Obviously, he's iconic as Freddy. And in this movie in particular, as I remember it all, I haven't watched these movies in a long time, but I'm going to be watching them over the next few years. I would say I'll probably get through most of them. Now, this movie, like Robert Englund, he's just unlike anyone else that ever played any villain role throughout all of film history that I can think of. Just the creep factor is so high in this movie, especially when you know that he was like abusing children and he's well willing to continue doing that. um so him being the villain in this movie obviously is a massive win for the film, and there's really no way that they could have screwed it up with him in that role. He was going to be what people wanted to see, no matter who filled any of the other parts of it. Luckily, Heather Langenkamp, who is the best final girl probably that you can think of. I don't know. There's a bunch going. I shouldn't probably say that. I'm not gonna say that. We'll retract that. She has been in a lot of good roles though. Throughout time. I'm not gonna go through them all, but you could look her up. She's awesome. She's a standout in this film, even against Freddy. Like, her acting in this was better than I think I've ever really seen people give credit to it for, because she just was believable as heck in this thing, man. Honestly, I thought she was awesome. Um, Awesome. Speaking of awesome, the score. Perfect for this particular movie. Especially when they're switching over to like the dream sequences, well, nightmare sequences. Um, that synth, like creepy, just backbeat. It really worked well with what they were trying to do in this movie. Um, the practical effects, awesome. Like the costume, the gore, awesome. Um, I remember, I've talked about this before, but like the virtual effects, they were probably the worst part of this. They didn't seem to use them a whole lot. I would say it was mostly practical. I might have to look this up because I could be wrong, and it was just a couple of the practical effects had gone what I would consider a little strange. Kind of like when she rips his face off and it reveals that, like demonic face or whatever. It was just kind of corny. But it didn't ruin the movie because the movie has enough laughs going for it. Like, although Freddy is menacing and ruthless, he's also kind of funny. Even in this one, he just maintains like that edge of that air of enough don't give a shit. And he was a human being, so it's not like a monster. I mean, he's monstrous, but it's not like a monster who couldn't speak to a person or be on any kind of level with a person. So Um, he's awesome in this thing. Another thing I thought was really cool about it was, I know the 80s gets kind of like a rap for being overtly sexual, and it's just a bunch of naked boobies all the time, or TNA. And this movie doesn't really have that. It has a moment of nudity, which is done rather tastefully. It's not it's not too explicit. So it seems that they just kind of like they let the story lead this one. And for that time period, I think that didn't really happen too much. So that might have been one of the things that people actually really enjoyed about it was the story drove this movie. They didn't rely on just naked girls or whatever. I mean, I don't think they really did naked guys at the time too much in movies. That came sadly later in my years. Um, the oddest thing about this movie, in a rather odd and unusual original film, was to me, and I don't know if this is work for anybody else or anybody else thinks of it like this. Johnny Depp was the worst part of this thing, somehow. 'Cause I like Johnny Depp. I think he's a rather talented thespian, and for him to be the worst part of a movie to me just seems weird. You okay, Shadow? What are you doing? Why so crazy? Okay, I love you. Yes, that's your paw. I see. Okay. You're a good dog. Oh, jeez, I don't know what her deal is. You don't have to keep your paws on me. You don't have to keep putting them on me. You're a weird one, Mr. Grinch. I don't know what's up with her. What? I love you. You good dog. Okay? I know. It's a crazy life that you live. You're okay. I'm not gonna shake your paw again. Thank you. Ah! She's a little bit annoying. But it's okay, I love her. Oh, you're just gonna get behind me, or what are you doing? Sheesh on a leash, kid. I'm just trying to do my movie review over here. Anyhow, like I said, Johnny Depp being the worst part of a movie is not something that you're used to seeing. It just isn't. He's usually the best part of a movie if he's in it, or at least not a bad part. So for him to be what I consider the weakest part of the movie, I don't know if that stands to how good the movie is, or how he was really new to the acting thing, so he was working it out still. I'm not sure what it's a testament to, but I do think that he was the weakest part of this movie, and that's saying a lot for me because I like Johnny Depp. So I'm going to give this bad boy a 9. This is not quite perfection in my estimation, but badass movie, iconic, total classic, killer flick. And obviously, I would say most of you have probably seen this movie. If it's been a long time, give it a rewatch, man. This one is definitely better than Hellraiser. There ain't no question about that in my estimation. I don't even think it's close. So, yep, we're giving this bad boy a 9. And like I said, not quite perfect, but pretty freaking close for a horror fan. Have a good night.